Oh, welcome all to the SnailTrail4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic radios are in Toyotas. That's right, folks, another radio episode coming your way. Then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler. Joining me for another episode is the one and only Mr. Jimmy Jet, who does not like radio episodes. So he's shaking his head.
I'll go get us lunch.
Okay, yeah, you can go get some lunch.
Take it from here,
and I'll just we'll be good. Just show up in like 3 hours is my guess. So.
Right. Perfect.
That's funny. How you doing, man?
I am good. I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks for asking. Things are moving forward on the home front, and we'll maybe talk about that a little later. And
cool.
I had a busy weekend, so we can get into that.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit. Unfortunately, not off-road stuff, but
okay.
Yeah, family things happened this weekend. It was one of those weekends of all, we call it, where it's like 10 things happen.
Yeah.
And you have 2 days to do it all.
Yeah.
It was sort of one of those events, but
nice.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better. So
you sound better.
It's been 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that. And I was starting to think that like I kind of hit a plateau and I wasn't getting any better. And then like late last week, it just kind of like all of a sudden cleared up.
Nice.
I'm still every once in a while, like I'll laugh or something. I'll be like, oh, there goes some phlegm. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good finally. So
good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you off air. But since we're recording,
we'll be on air.
We'll be on air now. What are you doing this weekend?
I don't know.
Are you going to Barrett Lake?
No.
Why not?
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're kidnapping you. Just FYI.
Oh, I have an Oktoberfest party with one of my college mates on Saturday.
So we're kidnapping you and you're going to Barrett Lake.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
Be prepared for people in ski masks to show up at your place.
All right. If somebody comes and takes me away, I will not be worried now.
Perfect.
We're here to rob you. Yeah, just take me. Really, we're here to rob you. No, that's fine. Right. I'll just go willingly.
And then I'll show up a day later, half a day later, 12 hours, something like that. Where's Jimmy, you guys?
I don't know. He said he was going with those guys that came in ski masks.
Shit. Anyways, I'm excited. Hopefully my wheeling trip is going to happen.
Yay.
I'm hoping. We'll see. Crossing my fingers, knocking on wood.
There you go.
Anyways, let's see what else do we got.
Family and all, or are you going to?
Just me.
Okay. Just you running
and
away.
My lover boy.
Ooh.
Husband.
Okay.
It's the degenerate group. So it'll be Verde, JL, Rodney, Latini. That's what I'm calling him. Latini. So those and Tom Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that would be a fun group.
Should be a really fun group. And then I supposedly Davenports are showing up for a day trip.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll see how it goes. Should be a fun trip though.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we got going on? We're in October.
We are.
Which means gift boxes are shipping this week.
Yes, they are. I have confirmed as many addresses as physically possible. Mm-hmm. The people that didn't confirm their addresses, we're shipping it out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
you get them.
Yeah, hopefully you get them. If not, not our fault. Yep. I've written you 3 times.
Yeah.
To try and get your address.
Yep.
And so we'll get those out this week. I gave Ben the shipping department the addresses just today.
Mm-hmm.
So he has those. We also got our 5-year anniversary box or gifts in.
Nice.
And perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because we're going to throw those in the gift boxes as well. So we can reduce our shipping costs.
Yeah, seriously.
So that'll work out well. And so, yeah, that's awesome. So you're going to be getting a gift box, which we'll go over maybe next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of those items will be your 5-year anniversary gift.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And yeah, should be a fun one. We'll go over, hopefully we'll be able to go over everything. They should be going out today or tomorrow, shipping. And so today's Tuesday when we're recording. So I'm hoping by next Tuesday, enough of you will have received them that we can just go over them.
No, we'll probably do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because that episode won't come out till Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll probably go over the items that are in the gift box. And then we can talk about those next week. I did do FNGs and birthdays and everything last night, so we can go over that today.
Sweet.
But let's jump back to gift boxes real quick, because if you want to get a gift box from us, now is the month to do that.
Yep.
At the end of the month, on Halloween night and probably Halloween midday, that tier closes. So you have to get in before then. You really should. If you want to get a gift box from us, you need to sign up for that tier before Halloween. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Because our good friend Austin over at iRate4x4 is probably trick-or-treating with his kids.
Yep. And drinking.
And drinking. And then he'll come home and pass out.
Exactly.
So he'll probably do the responsible thing first. So get in there first.
Yep.
If you are going to go move any tier up or down or side to side, you need to cancel the tier that you are leaving.
Correct.
So you need to go over to your PayPal account, go log in and go over to your subscriptions and then cancel whatever subscription you don't want to have anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, there's a whole section under PayPal for your subscriptions that you're subscribed to. Just go into that section and cancel the tier that you're no longer in and make sure that the tier you want to be in is the one that's there. So let's see. What else do we got? We got a giveaway for some Yokohama tires going on.
Yes, we do. I'm excited to win that.
Yes, you are. I am too. So that's going to be here going through the Apple Podcasts reviews. So leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, and that helps a lot with the algorithm of podcasts, right? So how do podcasting apps serve podcast to you when you search 4x4 or off-roading or rock crawling or outdoor recreation, anything like that? They will a lot of times serve you podcasts that have a lot of reviews, right? So it goes a long way to make sure that we end up getting into more people's ear holes, that we get introduced to new people looking for that kind of content. And the more people we get listening and interacting with the show, the more cool giveaways we get to do. So like this giveaway with Yokohama tires. It's a big circle. It's like a circle, right?
Big circle.
A big circle. Everything goes around like a big circle. Wait, huh? No. Yeah. So anyways, did you get that movie reference?
No.
No? Oh man. What movie is that?
I have no idea. A big circle.
It's like a big circle. It's what movie is that? It's the very first oh my God, what movie is that?
Well, for those out there that do know the movie that Tyler is talking about. Oh, the Hangover.
The first
Dang
one.
It.
Yeah.
I was going to say you should message us and we'll get you a sticker if you tell him. But he already figured out. So you get a sticker.
I get a sticker. Yay. We'll put it up on our new wall.
Yeah. Wherever that is. Hey, I want to do a shout out.
Oh, okay.
To Beadlock Coffee.
Okay.
I have, for the last few months, I ran out of my subscription with them. Actually, I did a trade. I gave them a panel and they gave me a value within coffee. And we just sort of traded that way.
Nice.
And my subscription ended with them and I got sad and I had to go out and get some coffee. And then I messaged them and I was like, hey, I need more coffee. And I got my first bag in. So I signed up for a year subscription now with them, getting a bag a month. And I just got I brewed. This is the first one out of the new bag. It is so good.
Oh yeah.
So much better than the swill I've been drinking my entire life. And I've never been a coffee snob.
Yeah.
Never in my life. I've been like Folgers to Starbucks to whatever. It doesn't matter.
You're not a big food snob. You're very much like, whatever's in front of me, I'll eat. I'm like a garbage disposal.
But I'm either now finding my tongue or appreciating coffee more. But I mean, I'll still drink whatever if it's in front of me, I guess. But if I have a choice to brew a good coffee, man, the Beadlock coffee, and I like their light roasts personally. Okay. I don't know if it's just because it has more caffeine or
probably
the flavor addicted. Isn't as I don't know. I don't like the roasted flavor as much. I like it a little bit more mellow. But yeah, super happy. Beadlock coffee. Thank you very much for making my day exciting.
Nice. We've been doing just mainly like candy coffees.
Yeah.
Right. So we did
I finished the spiced one.
You finished the pumpkin spice one. So we've done spiced almond. Which is like your candied almonds you can buy at a store, right? Yes. That flavor. Then we did a chocolate mocha coffee, flavored coffee. And then we just did a pumpkin spice coffee and you finished it out.
I finished that one.
And so now we're going to be doing a butter pecan coffee.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for that to come in to brew the next keg.
How many pounds makes a keg?
So I do, 4 12-ounce bags of coffee per 5-gallon keg. 3, I think I did the last one, the pumpkin spice at 4 12-ounce bags for a 5-gallon keg. And it turned out a little sharp for me. So I think I'm going to do 3 or 3.5 12-ounce bags.
Got it.
For the 5-gallon keg.
Yeah. Speaking of a little bit of math along those lines, so I've been digging out my septic tank.
Okay.
Right. Because we've had that problem with the root ball. Mm-hmm. And to solve that, one of the ways to solve that, or one of the action items to solve that problem is I have to literally dig out the entire perimeter of the septic tank. And my plumber buddy said I had to dig roughly a trench 3 inches wider than the tank.
Okay.
And then 3 inches below where the lid starts. Okay. And the lid is roughly 3 to 4 inches, about 4 inches below the top of the tank, right?
Yep.
So 7 inches almost down.
And the tank is 16 to 18 inches below the ground?
No, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to go down about 2 feet.
Yeah. Okay. For the most part. That's a good way to say it. So anyway, I've literally completely dug out the entire tank. Like the entire tank is exposed. I dug all the way around it, and then I dug this tiny trough around the perimeter of the tank. And then I did the math of trying to figure out how much volume of rock salt I need to buy to pour in this trough. And then I figured it out, and then I go to the store, and they have it in 40-pound bags.
Oh. So you can't, it's not a volume.
It's not a volume. It's just a weight. And I'm like, damn it.
So now you got to do a conversion of figuring out how many, what did you do your volume measurement in? Like cubic feet?
I did cubic inches.
So you got to figure out how many cubic inches is 1 pound of rock salt.
Pretty much, or yeah. Okay. I asked ChatGPT.
There you go. Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I said it was like 75,000 cubic inches or something like that. No, 7,500 cubic inches. Okay. And I said, how many pounds of rock salt do I need?
Yeah.
And it spit out like, I don't remember what the number it spit out, but I had to buy 12 bags. 12 40-pound bags.
Jeez.
Yeah. 480 pounds
wow.
of rock salt.
That's actually less than I thought it would be.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking like you're going to have to come home with a full pallet of rock salt
maybe
to do this.
But it was funny trying to figure out the conversion and movement. Yeah. And then like I figured it all out. And then I was like, wait. Damn it.
Oh,
it's
man.
In pounds. Like, how do I measure pounds?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of funny. So that's, to some extent, takes a few days. It's been taking me, I'd work until it gets hot in the morning.
Yeah.
I'd take the daughter to school. I'd drive home. I'd dig for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
and then it gets hot and I'd be
Yeah.
like, no more.
Yep.
So that's been my woes. Today on my to-do list, if there's time, I need to contact some septic tank companies
Mhm.
and get them to organize when to come out and clean out the tanks again.
Mhm.
And I have found a guy that is willing to go help me clean, but not help me, is willing to clean out the tank.
Uh-huh. And get
I
all
mean,
the roots
I'll
out of
help
it?
as much as I want. Yeah, I don't. And my plumber buddy knows of him. It was labeled in his phone as laborer Francisco.
Okay.
You communicate with Francisco, or I communicate with Francisco using Google Translate.
Okay.
Right. And he's going to charge me $25 an hour.
Sold. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
Like, this could be a 3-hour job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay you $75 to dive into my septic tank and
clean out all these
remove
roots.
roots.
Jeez. Wow.
I'm going to give him more money.
Yeah. Give him a big tip. That's going to be.
Here's your $75 and here's another $150 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's complaining about the undocumented labor that's coming across the borders right now. It's a big topic of the election, right?
Yeah.
And if all that was shut down, you wouldn't have that, Jimmy. Just FYI.
No.
So-
Well, I know. And maybe I shouldn't pay for it anyway. But that's really the only person I found that is willing to go into the tank.
Yeah, that's
the companies that I've dealt with aren't
willing
to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes down to, if there's not somebody willing to do it, then what do you do?
Yeah. I have to do it. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if shit comes to shove, then I might, but yeah, I don't know. So
wow,
that's, hopefully by the end of this week, I can cover my tank backup.
Nice.
That's hopefully the goal.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just have Francisco. Maybe I'll so we're going to get risers, which are more or less like these culvert pipes that will take you set it down on the tank, and then I think you buy them roughly 18 inches tall, and it has a plastic lid. And now you just got a plastic lid in the middle of your lawn.
Yeah.
Or where ours is in our lawn. So it just you have this culvert thing that rises it, and you have a lid there, and then you have the lid at the tank. So then I never have to dig again. So maybe I'll try to get those before Francisco shows up, and then I'll have him just help me fill the hole.
Yeah.
Because it'll be done in theory after that.
Yeah, for sure. Did you find the other lid?
Found both lids. Okay. Still have not been able to open.
Oh, that's lid. Right. You want okay.
We've done damage to the lid.
Yeah.
I'm about to the point where I'm just going to have to break it.
That's kind of what I was thinking. My thought is drill 4, 5, 6 holes in it, and then get some winch line through the holes that way you're spreading the load of it, right? And then pull on it with a winch and see what happens.
Yeah. My brother wanted to get a floor jack and a big metal bar and just try to pry it up. What about your cherry
picker? Did you use the cherry picker to?
That might be a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do that.
Is it a metal lid or concrete?
It's concrete with a piece of rebar in it.
Oh, well, that's nice.
As the handle.
Yeah, so you can just kind of hook something to the rebar and see what happens.
Yeah. If it breaks, it breaks. Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point of breaking it anyway.
You got to go in. You got to clean the tank out anyways. Yes. So it's if it breaks and concrete gets down to the tank, oh well, you're gonna have someone down there clean it out anyway. So. Yep. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I would try the cherry picker, man.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I might do that. Yeah, definitely. So that's been one of the things I've been up to, but it's reminded me because we were talking about the math.
Yeah.
Of, your coffee makers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. But so do we have any more updates? Because
we have this month's giveaway, which is the 2 gift boxes, right? So we'll have 2 winners for this month's giveaway. And we'll dive into what's in those gift boxes, like we said, next week. Pretty cool thing that's going to be we're adding to a program.
Yes.
So we'll give you guys all the juicy details next week. Let's see. We have some fun things that showed up.
We do.
That we can talk about. Last week we interviewed Lisa and Lonnie.
Yes, we did. They were on Monday's episode.
For the Rebel Rally. So they're out doing the Rebel, I believe. They're leaving, was it tomorrow?
I think they're leaving, tomorrow from when we recorded this, yesterday from when you guys are listening.
Yep. So they are, when you guys are listening to this on Thursday, they are officially, I believe, starting the Rebel Rally.
I think they're at like their, they're checking, like
they're checking
their tech's inspection day. Yeah.
But when Lisa came over, she brought us a license plate.
She did. Yeah.
And so this one is off of a Tacoma, a very special Tacoma that's been around a very long time and has been to a lot of places and was very involved with Tacoma World.
Absolutely. It won Tacoma World's Tacoma of the Year.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think 2 years in a row.
Wow. Yeah. So Nick and Lisa, our favorite gladiator on 28s, he has they have a really nice Tacoma. They also have a really nice Land Cruiser 80 series. And so we have the license plate off of the Tacoma.
Yeah.
The Tacoma World Tacoma. So it says TW
rad.
Yoda. Tacoma World Yoda.
Yep. Cool.
So
thanks,
cool.
Nick, for giving us that.
A nice historical plate. Did we go over this one?
I don't think so.
I don't remember who this one was from though. Oh, Solve Functions.
Solve Functions, Lee.
So yeah, I think. Did we go over this one?
I don't think we talked about it.
This one was one that was dropped off by Re-Rim.
Re-Rim. Solve Function.
I believe this was the plate off of the White Whale, right?
I think it is, yeah.
So
yeah,
those who have followed along with Re-Rim and anybody who goes wheeling with Jimmy apparently rolls a vehicle, and so Re-Rim rolled or flopped his White Whale. In Moab last year.
A flop on the roof.
Yeah, true. It's he rolled it.
That's a roll.
That's a roll. Out at Moab was this year? This year's Moab.
Yep.
So this is the FJ80 4x4 plate off of the White Whale, Re-Rim's White Whale that rolled.
Yeah. So that's also a fun plate to have and will hang soon.
Yep. Complete with a Solve Function dispersed equipment. License plate frame.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Let's see. And then we also have a surprise here.
A gift.
A gift from Uncle Pool.
Uncle Pool. Mr. Pool Noodle.
You want to open it?
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Oh. 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 Oh.
Edible ones?
Those are the edible peanuts. Yep. Yeah. Jimmy's eating styrofoam peanuts.
Not bad. It's not as good as my coffee.
Yeah.
Wait,
did you actually eat those?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No,
you didn't see me?
I saw you eat it, like put it in your mouth, but I would assume that you no, it's still in your mouth. You didn't swallow it. I can see that you're putting it in your mouth and chewing it.
It disappears.
Bullshit. Open your mouth. What? The fuck? I've never seen that before. Is that?
I mean, not every day somebody eats styrofoam, but.
Oh, okay. You guys gotta go to YouTube, watch the video. I don't know what timestamp this is on the video. It's somewhere around 22, 24 minutes. Jimmy's eating styrofoam packaging, ladies and gentlemen. So
they used to make edible ones. I don't know if those are the ones. They were made out of like cornstarch.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe those still are, but I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
All right. So anyways, I'm totally distracted as to what we actually have here from Mr. Pool, Uncle Pool.
There's sizes. There's size.
Are those the ways to measure male stuff?
Yeah. So it looks like he bought us, or got us some gauges in a way.
Yeah.
And so these are probably for tapping and drilling because we've been talking about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have different measurements on it, so you can stick a bolt through this to figure out what size it is. Maybe it gives you the fraction on this plate,
Mhm.
It tells you the fraction and the decimal. So
Okay.
25/64 is 0.390.
What's 9/32?
I don't know.
0.2812.
Not easily. Can't. Somewhere around here. 7/32 is 0.218.
Yep.
But then these-
this one says 0.2187.
So this is a reference table tap drill sizes, 75% depth of thread.
Yep.
So if you're gonna, so metric tap size drill taps. Okay. So this one's metric. Is this one standard?
Well, this one has metric and standard on it. It also has UNF, UNC sizes.
Oh man, there's,
American Standard Pipe, which is MPT.
is there 4 of these? Are they the same thing? Yeah,
Are they
okay.
all the
They're
same
the
thing?
same thing. There's just different sides.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's front and back. So there's a ton of information on these freaking.
Yeah.
This
So
one
this
little thing.
one, so this just has fraction to decimal equivalent, and then what is? Are these?
It's an inch measurement on the side there, inches, and then it goes down to the.
But it's inches and it says 8, 16. It's 32, 40, 48, 56.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure
it's
what
like
that is.
4 inches and 8. Yeah, I don't know what those are. Kevin, you're going to have to tell us. And then the backside does have a whole bunch of other information. American pipe threading, UNC, metric, ISO, drip or tap sizes, taps and drills for UNF. Yeah, all kinds of stuff on here. These are really cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to need I need to have that in the shop and maybe one at the desk for when I'm doing CAD work.
Yep.
And that's what this is.
Gotcha. So it's the same thing, a different layout, different setup.
Well, these are to figure out what the bolt size is.
Oh,
So you can
okay.
test it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can stick the bolt in. So you don't stick your male parts in it to
No.
figure out. Gotcha.
No. You stick the bolts male parts in.
I got it. Okay.
And then I have something similar to this, not nearly as many holes, but I have ones that
Don't put yourself down like that, Jimmy.
it has less sizes, but then it also has some threads so that, versions so that you can thread on some nuts and check the
Figure out your thread pitches.
thread pitches and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it has a metric and standard version of that. So, but this is really cool because it's a wide variety.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks,
Nice.
Uncle Pool.
Yeah, these are sweet. I still, it sounds like I might be starting to build my father-in-law's bed rack soon. So I need to get some cutting oil. That way I can compare with my trusty WD-40 cutting oil.
Yeah.
And see what the difference is and how they compare to each other. So that
Some
will
tap magics.
that'll be soon. Yeah, I think.
Sounds good.
We talked about it this weekend. I have all the metal to do it. I just need his truck.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, sounds like that's going to be happening soon,
All right.
especially with it starting to cool down.
Yes, I know.
We have
Got
been
some
having
yard work.
Yeah, we've been having a pretty crazy.
We've been breaking
heat wave.
records.
We're breaking records left and right here in Sacramento. So, yeah, it's been hot. We're in October, first, second week of October, and we're still getting 100 to 110 degree temperatures.
I heard on Good Day this morning
Mm-hmm.
that we've had 50 over 100 degree days this year.
Wow. Usually we're only like in the 20s,
Our
like 15 to
average
20.
is 23.
23. Yeah. So over double.
Over double.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over 100 degree days.
So that's interesting. I have a buddy that lives up in southern Canada.
Okay.
I want to say he's over in the Quebec region, near Quebec, Saskatchewan or Quebec, somewhere near that border. And so right now the Northern Lights are going crazy.
Okay, cool.
They're going nuts over his house. Like he sent me pictures last night and it's here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can show the camera. If we had a TV up here,
We need to
we could
get our
cast it on
wall
the TV.
built.
I know. But it's pretty crazy. Like the solar activity that's happening right now from the Northern Lights. Da, 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 da. There you go. You can scroll whichever way you
one
need
way
to.
or another.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's over his house.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
One day I'll see them. I saw those photos the other day from when people were posting them nearby.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like outside and I was looking and I didn't see anything. And then you like look at it and people are like, yeah, that was with like a 90-second exposure. I'm like, okay, you guys didn't see the northern lights.
You captured
it with your phone, but you didn't see it.
Yeah, you captured it with a light capturing device.
Yeah.
So it's there's a ton of solar activity right now, which plays into radio stuff. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's also when you have a high solar activity, apparently it really impacts weather patterns as well.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right? It's not something you really put two and two together until you hear it and you're like, oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. A lot of the hurricanes that we're experiencing on the East Coast in Florida, North Carolina, all along there right now, are being exacerbated as well due to all this solar activity we're receiving. And I'm betting that a lot of the weather patterns we're seeing right now on California and the heat waves we're getting are also due to this increase in solar activity.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's an interesting record-setting time we're seeing with all the heat, but also I'm like, man, I have all these outdoor projects I want to do and like work on, like you said, digging out your tank. You can only work until like 10, 11 a.m. and then it's too hot. And I'm like, man, I'm waiting. I'm excited for cooler weather so I can start doing some more of this outdoor stuff that I've been wanting to do.
Too.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got? I think that's all the gift update stuff that we got in.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that's all the gifts we're giving away and the gifts we've received.
Yep.
So
cool.
Maybe go over to what we've been up to.
Yeah. Should we take a quick break?
Yeah.
We have a new... I guess we've been talking a lot about Onyx Off-Road. You guys have been hearing their ad in the beginning of the show. And we're going to end up throwing it in here in a mid-roll for you guys too. So,
well, now also, but it's going to be removed from the pre-roll.
Yeah. So off of the front of the show. So you guys get into the show quicker. And then you'll get to hear some fun little blurbs about Onyx that Jimmy and I have made that are true, actual, real experiences with them. So we'll be starting to throw those in. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right on back with the what in the butt. Oh, welcome back, everybody. To the what in the butt section of the show. How did we get that name? Why did we end up on that for this Thursday?
I think
segment?
it was Sherpa, but it was
that actually makes sense.
What we have been up to. So it's WWHBUT.
WWH butt.
Yeah. What the butt? What butt?
Okay.
Something like
whole butt. Anyways, so yeah, that's our segment for Thursday where we get to update you guys on what we've been up to. So usually we're doing some sort of shenanigans, playing with radios, working on vehicles, going off-roading, going camping, whatever it is that we've been up to the previous weekend. We could talk about it.
Yeah.
So that you guys can live vicariously through our mistakes and our woes.
And learn from the silly, stupid things we do.
Exactly.
Like eat packaging peanuts.
Yeah. Why I don't understand that. Anyways, my mind is broken. My head's broken over that.
What else can I eat around here?
We talked earlier about how Jimmy's a garbage disposal, everybody. So
I have been called that in my life.
Anyways, sounds like you did some work on a septic tank.
I did work on the septic tank. I dug it out and hopefully, like I said earlier,
480 pounds of rock salt is going to solve your problem.
Hopefully.
And Francisco.
Yeah. And Francisco. Yeah. So we'll hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have our lawn back to some extent. So that's sort of a plan or a goal.
Yep.
We'll see. But then, this upcoming weekend, I'm either getting kidnapped or I'm going to a Oktoberfest party with one of my college mates.
Yep.
But this last weekend, was the weekend of everything, weekend of all. Let's see. So the mini assistant is in plays. She likes theater. She does theater. And this last week was tech week for her because she had her shows this weekend. So she had a Saturday afternoon show and then a Sunday matinee. And that took up a lot of the time. And then one of her besties' dads had a birthday party.
Okay.
And then during Saturday day, I did some digging and I forgot something else. I don't remember what it was, but they went off to church and then came back, and then we got the mini assistant ready for her play. And then we dropped her off at the play, and then we went over to her friend's dad's house, her friend's house, and hung out with the parents there that were for the party. We were only able to hang out for like an hour because then we had to go back, and then we went and saw her performance, and my side of the family showed up to the performance that day. And then we realized that the assistant left her cell phone at the party.
Okay.
So then we had to go back after the party and pick up the cell phone. And then the mini assistant found out that we went and hung out with all of her friends and we didn't really tell her that we were going to a party at her friend's house. She got all mad at us. And then, but we had to go get the assistant's phone. So we let her play with her friends for a while. We hung out. We had some drinks. They made tacos and they had a tres leche cake. It was super good.
I love tres leche cakes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then we went home, and then we woke up in the morning and we got a text from her dad saying that the assistant left something else at their house. And I turned to her and I was like, is this just a ploy? So we have to go back and continuously hang out with these cool people?
Get tacos and tres leche?
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know, maybe. And so let's see, Sunday morning, we had kind of a lazy morning, but the mini assistant needed to be back at her show at like 1:00. We slept in and we did some cleaning of the house and made breakfast and stuff, and then more or less time to go. And then so we dropped her off at the show. This time it was a short time between when we dropped her off and the show started. And we went and got the assistant's. She has Invisalign, and so she carries around this like case that has a toothbrush and some rubber bands and some all stuff for the Invisalign. She accidentally left that there. And so then we picked, the dad said he was going to take a hangover nap, and the mom is a nurse. And so she's a night nurse. So she went to bed because she was going to have to work that night. Yeah. And so everybody in the house was more or less sleeping. So he put the bathroom kit thing in their like mailbox. Okay. And so we went and picked it up, and then we would purposely put something else in there this time, but it was only a Togo's free taco thing, And we're like, oh, I think we left something in the mailbox, And he's like, what is this, bro? It's super funny. He's actually the guy that works just down here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. Just like one building over almost. And super nice guy, super fun family. We are the mini assistant is changing schools at the end of this year. Yeah. And we're kind of bumming. She's bumming. Is it because she's grading up, or is it because of the move? Yes. Got it. Okay, cool. Her school, so she's in 5th grade right now. Her school only goes through 5th grade. Okay. And then because we moved, we figured this was a good time to move her districts. Yeah. So all of the above. But she's bumming because she's like, I'm never going to see my friends again. Yeah. And we're bumming because I'm like, your friends. Parents are awesome. Yeah, the friends you chose, parents are really cool. Yeah. And, I'm sure she'll choose some good friends as well again. But it's kind of interesting how you end up becoming friends with your kids' parents' friends. Well, that was going to be my question for you after talking about this, right? Is we've been trying to find friends, or maybe reconnect with friends who now have infants. Sure. They're at the same stage of life as we are, right? Yeah. And we were having trouble doing that. And I think part of it is just because we're really busy.
And so we're not prioritizing going out and hanging out with those friends.
Yeah.
And Reed isn't at the point yet where he makes friends.
Sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
we're just not really working on it kind of thing, but it's still, we keep having conversations about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, how is that? Does it just, is it a problem to solve? Does it just happen naturally? Or will it be something that's like, he ends up making friends and then you just end up being friends with those parents?
Yeah. I would say that's probably most likely.
Okay.
I mean, I think it could kind of go hand in hand. Like maybe he's really into sports
Mm-hmm.
and then you're hanging out with the parents during the sporting events and then you become friends with the kids at the sporting events, the parents at the sporting event. And then, I mean, the kids are on the same team, so they're going to play with each other anyway and have fun. So you can kind of go that way. But for us, it was, she chose good friends at school. And then, you know, she got invited to birthday parties and she got invited to, you know, and some other events or, you know, things happening. And then, you know, here we are. The dad is having a birthday party.
Yeah.
And the kid invites some of the friends over. And now we become good friends with the other parents. And it just sort of worked that way.
Okay.
Like almost every morning. So I drop the mini assistant off at the school. And then there's another dad that drops his son off at the school. And then the mini assistant and the other son are friends. And then the dad and I sit there and talk for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
You know, for a few years ago, when I used to walk the mini assistant to school, there was a group of dads that all of us kind of like, few of them drove, one or two of them walked, and then we all just hung out and talked for a while.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool. I think you're going to be more friends with Reed's
friends,
parents.
More than it is, we're going to find him friends due to our friends with infants, with kids. Okay.
I mean, you're going to always be friends with your friends, but you're also going to gain new friends through his friends.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not going to happen until he gets to daycare or like maybe in the daycare,
Pre-K.
but when he gets, TK or kindergarten, like the friends that the mini assistant has was all TK kids.
Yeah.
She made the friends then, and her school's small enough that they have like, I don't know, you're just always in a class with one of your friends, so a scenario. And so, you know, she's been at this school for 6 years.
Yeah.
We've known these people for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't, but the assistant has.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're cool people. And that was one of the things. Like if they're not cool people, you know, you're not going to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like, your son or daughter is going to play with them at school, but then maybe you'll go, you know, like, oh, they're invited to a birthday party. If they're young, maybe you stay, but when they get a little older, you can just kick them out of the car and let them go. And you don't have to hang out with those people. But if they're cool people, you're going to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's been, I don't know, not really lingering on my mind, but something that me and the secretary have been chatting about recently.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it just comes with time. So once the kid starts making friends, you know, you'll find out if they're cool, nice people and you like to hang out with them or not, you know, fortunately the mini assistant chose good friends and awesome parents.
Nice.
And we're kind of bumming that we're going to miss that.
Yeah. My requirements for those people are going to be, do they know how to weld?
Yeah.
And I'm only going to talk to people, other dads that know how to weld. So,
so speaking of that, so you just reminded me of something.
Okay.
A few days after the Buddhist temple event, the bazaar and my bonsai show, I was talking to one of the ladies that used to show up for the club, but is in the church.
Okay.
And so I was talking to her and I was like, when are you going to show up again? You know, we've missed you. She's a witty little funny, like Asian lady. She's just, she's got energy, you know, and she's just tiny and she's just funny person. Like right now she has like a dollop of her hair is like bright purple. Okay. You know, she's just a cool girl. And so I was just talking to her, just seeing what she's up to and when she's going to come back. She's like, I need to, you know, like my trees are getting overgrown. I need to figure out how to get them back under control. And I was like, so what else have you been doing? She's like, man, I just go through my yard and I've been picking maples, like seeds that have dropped. And like, she has all these sapling, little tiny maples and she's just picking them out and throwing them away. I'm like, what? Like, I want some of those. And so the other day, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe it was Wednesday. We went over to her house, and it was, I mean, her house was amazing. Like her parents lived in the house before she did. It's like they've been in the family for like 65 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Japanese feel,
Okay.
but the outside property was just, they had like every single plant you can imagine, and they somehow fitted in an acre of property, and there was just paths everywhere to go anywhere. And it was really a cool property, but we ended up getting like 100 maple trees.
Wow.
I mean, they're like 2
Those little
inches
saplings,
tall.
Yeah.
And then we got a few other random things that she didn't want or that we could cultivate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't, it was, so
you need to make a trip down to the Forestier Gardens,
I do.
underground gardens.
I do.
You really do.
I would geek out on that. But when I was talking to her, I was like, why do you have all this rusty old metal laying around here? And she's like, oh, in my spare time, I've been teaching myself to weld.
Oh,
I was like,
cool.
You are so random.
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, I've been doing these fun projects, doing some art sculptures and welding and just trying to figure it out and just, collect metal whenever I see it around. And, I was like, yeah, that's so funny. So I was like, here she is, this, I don't know. She's probably in her 60s.
Okay.
Little Asian lady that was is keeping her parents' property alive and has the bonsai itch and now welding too.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was quite funny, but
nice.
Yeah. So the play went well.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out with the parents and things was fun. After Sunday's play, we went over to the assistant's dad's house, went swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was 90 something degrees at that time.
Yeah.
Last time we'll probably swim this year in a way, and hung out there. And then we got some Thai food, super good Thai food. And from, if you're in the Sacramento area, kind of maybe Citrus Heights, Orangeville area, there's a place called Thai King. Super good food.
Okay.
Yeah. And came home and then I edited the podcast for Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my weekend. It was just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot of different directions we had to go. There were some times where like we just had an hour or two of nothing because we were between dropping, the mini assistant off and things we had to do. And it was like, what do I need to do in this short amount of time?
Yeah.
Just a lot of that happening. Just, parent shuttling is really what it came down to.
Yeah. That's one of my worries. One of my biggest pet peeves is travel time it takes to drive places.
I know. When are they going to invent teleporters?
That's really what I'm looking for, right? I really need a teleporter because if I have to go somewhere, like around Sacramento is, I don't know, I don't want to say a small area, but it takes a long time to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do anything in Sacramento, you're driving at least about half an hour.
Absolutely.
And one way, right? And so like if I want to go and do something, I have to take an hour out of my day just in drive time.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm not looking forward to, having Reed get involved with a bunch of different activities. Right. Yeah. So I got to figure out a way to get him involved with like stay-at-home welding or robotics or something.
Yeah.
That's what,
or you could just put him in an Uber.
just Uber him to places.
I'm going to send you to your friend's house. Here you go. And then I don't have to drive you.
Let's see. I get him driving at 12 or 11 years old, something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Get him in one of those little gators.
Yeah.
Just driving down the road. I've just remembered there was, so on, I think it was Friday night. We went and saw the band One Republic.
Oh, okay. Jeez, you did a lot.
Yeah. And that was a good show, but it was at Thunder Valley, an Indian casino. Yeah, the venue is what it's called, the venue.
Yep.
It's an India casino out here in the area. Really nice. I was shocked.
I've heard a lot of really good feedback on the venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not shocked. I mean, I heard it was nice and I went in kind of like high expectations and I was like, damn, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's bars everywhere in that place.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Every floor outside has a bar, and then there's a bar on this outside in the inside
the auditorium.
The auditorium, there's bars on like the corners.
Wow.
On I think almost every side. So,
perfect.
Yeah, it was rad. Really good show. I did not know. I told my brother who was really into music. I said, I had no idea that the lead singer is such a prolific writer of music.
Oh,
He wrote songs for not J-Lo, for Beyonce,
okay.
for Adele, for Maroon 5,
Okay.
or I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And there was some country artists and some rock and roll artists. And yeah, so he did a stick where he kicked everybody off the stage, and then he sat at the piano and he's like, I wrote this song, and he would play it on the piano.
That was going to be
it.
my question. Since he wrote the songs, does he get rights to be able to play them at shows
probably.
on tour?
Yeah. And
interesting.
So he played a bunch of those songs. Really kind of fun to see him. He wrote Halo for Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that Halo song.
Halo. Okay, yeah. I was thinking, hey, Lo.
No,
Halo.
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he pretty much sang that entire song, and then he did short stits of a bunch of other songs.
Nice.
And he's like, I bet you know this one. And he would sing it, and everybody would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool. And yeah, he had they did a really good show, but it was short. They had no opening act, and they played for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they're off, which I think typically they play for about an hour and a half.
Okay.
But when you didn't have an opening act and you started at 8, we were done at 9:30.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Like, this is nothing. So then we just hung out and gambled and got a few drinks.
Yeah.
But in India casinos, at least in California, if you're gambling, you still don't get free drinks. You still have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then tonight we're going to Weezer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the 30-year anniversary of the Blue covered album.
Wow. 30 years.
30 years from the one that had Buddy Holly and Sweater.
Yep.
And yeah, that album.
That was the album that made Weezer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to see them tonight. Yeah.
That's
so it's
cool.
been a very busy last few days. But yesterday I did some welding. I got about an hour free yesterday. There's still a lot going on yesterday. And the assistant has it in her mind now that Monday after dinner, I get to go do things.
Nice.
And our kind of unwritten rules, I try to be back before to say goodnight to the mini assistant. And so that gave me about an hour, 15 minutes.
Okay.
We ate later, and the time ran out.
So were you welding your portable table then, or?
Yes, I was. Okay. I finished. I did almost all the welding on the portable table. I didn't weld the bottom section up yet. And then I fell into a conversation with Hussman about how I'm going to attach the tabletop to the legs, more or less. And turns out the little Yes welder that I have is not anything strong enough to weld onto a 5/8 plate.
Oh.
It's actually only rated to about 1/4 of an inch.
It's a 220 welder though, right?
I know, but I think because it has so many other things on the inside of it, like it's a plasma cutter, it's a TIG welder, it's a stick welder, it has all these different ways that it works. It just doesn't have the capacitors or the room or anything to be able to do some larger panels.
That would make sense, because my Miller, I have a Miller 251, because Hussman has the 252. I've got the model before his.
Okay.
So I have a Miller 251, and that thing's rated for 3/8 half inch.
Right.
Something like that.
So I might take it over to Hussman's. We might weld it on. I haven't talked to him about it. Ryan said he might be up in my area with his 211, which is a powerful beast. And so maybe he'll come over and we'll glue it together.
Yeah.
If not, maybe I'll just bolt it together like I did the previous ones.
Yeah.
And call it good. So I'm kind of in a hold up there, but I still have to weld in the bottom braces and cut the legs to length and put the wheels and casters and stuff on. So there's still a little bit of work to do on that. I'm going to continue to take time, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, so I moved on to working onto the table because Brian from Four Wheel Underground and I have fallen into a conversation of my axles, and pretty much it's coming down to I'm getting wider axles.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, so I'm going to get diamond axle housings,
Cool.
and we're going to get, I think, 67 inches
Sweet. Yep.
for the wheel mount surface.
Mhm.
The diamonds, I believe, I don't know if they come, I think they come with assembled Burfield balls on the end.
The knuckleballs.
The knuckleballs.
Yep. Mhm.
And Brian was saying that Brian
Yeah, Brian Ellinger is Diamond.
Is Diamond.
And Brian
Osborne.
Yeah, is
I think, yeah.
4 Wheel Underground.
Yeah. So Brian from Diamond had adds more caster to the axle than Toyota did, but it's better for driving and
it's better for street driving. Yeah. More positive caster is will keep you going straight more. So it helps with bigger tires.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're adjusting that on the axle for me, and then I have to adjust it on on the brackets. Yep. I have to swap out brackets because it's a different diameter tube. So I have to get a different axle brackets, but everything else is more or less the same. Mm-hmm. And then to match it in the rear, I'm getting a T100 axle.
Oh.
And they are 66.75 inches in diameter for wheel mounting surface. Yeah. So it's only a 1/4 inch different.
Yeah.
At 8-inch ring gear. Mm-hmm. Same wheel pattern on the outside.
Pattern,
yeah. It's still a semi-float, sort of there.
Yeah.
But stock axle shafts will work in that application, and I found some for pretty cheap, about $400 for complete
for the stock shafts
for the complete axle.
Nice.
Yeah. At the records over here. So, I mean, maybe I could find it even cheper if somebody's selling them off of Facebook.
Our buddy at LKQ might be able to get you.
I thought about him. I think it's too old. Because they go back only a certain amount of years.
I know he's listening. He's current and he listens to every episode. So check on that and text Jimmy.
Yeah.
So
you can, I'll maybe message you beforehand too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking at those. And so one thing I found doing a little bit of digging about the T100s is the T100s in like 95. They went until 97, I think.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Somewhere, whenever the Tundra came out, they ended. Right. And I think it's about 97, but they came with the 3.4 and the 2.7 in them in those upper years. So at some point, like around 95, the 3.0 and the 2.4 from, the 22 REs got dropped, and the new engines for the first gen Tacomas came out, and those trucks have them.
Yep.
Also. So I think there's an opportunity to get a cheaper engine swaps for people to not just look at Tacomas, but to look at T100s also.
Oh, totally. Yeah. T100s, you can find them with the 3.4s in them. They're just not as round. They're not as
it's not a common vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they're just not as many of them.
Yes.
So it's way easier to find a Tacoma or 4Runner 3.4 than it is to find a T100 3.4.
Absolutely. I understand that. But I also think nobody's looking at T100s for a 3.4 swap.
Very few. Yeah. The oil pan you want for a 3.4 swap in a rock crawler solid axle application is off of the T100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you want the T100 oil pan.
Okay.
In order to do a solid axle conversion with a 3.4 swap. Or a 3.4 engine, or Trail Gear makes the rear sump oil pan, which is modeled after the T100 oil pan.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyways, circling back to the welding table in a way. So the reason I'm working on the welding table is because I now have a few weeks of waiting till I get axles in to put the axles underneath Samantha. Nice. So I've got a few. I figured, I've always wanted to get this other welding table done, so I have the time to get that done. I'm going to probably start diving into Bobcat steering issues here. There's a leak on Clifford that I'm going to probably do some diagnosing on. I'm really worried that the front main seal might be going out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. There's oil. And so I'm not positive that it's it though, because there's oil underneath the crank. And then there's oil underneath the power steering area. And if the crank is leaking, it spins the opposite direction from that. So it would throw the oil to the passenger side.
Yeah.
right? Where the oil mess is on the driver's side. So I don't think that it's leaking.
Yeah.
I just think maybe there's an issue with maybe there's some power steering leaking. I did fix that one line, and so maybe that solved it. I just need to do some more diagnosis on it. And I did talk to Ultra Ford Jones, and he said that there's an oil cooler over there that's prone for leaking. So I need to dive into that.
Gotcha.
Okay. I think I'm done.
As I say, the 67 WMS Diamond axle, those are the axles my dad has under his Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
So that'll give you an idea of width.
Yeah.
And how that would look on a mini truck body.
Yeah. I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting thing. So with that, I'm going to have to get new inner axle shafts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in talks with our RCV,
RCV?
RCV? Is
Okay.
that
Yep.
RTV?
RCV.
RCV.
Yep.
To order, I'm going to need to order up some axle shafts from them, custom made for that size. I don't think you would need to do a custom shaft. I mean, that's a fairly common axle length. For Toyotas.
I mean, there's quite a few people running a 67-inch that diamond axle.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think it's a standard make for them.
Okay. There's companies I would think that would make it a standard length.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean,
you would just order a Toyota inner shaft, like a +4, +5, +6, whatever it is.
I believe it's roughly +5 on each side.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was just talking to RCV to get pricing.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's still some baby steps that need to happen to get, but the first hurdle was ordering the axle. Yeah. Because that's still like a 6-week lead time. And hopefully that we've done that already. I'm leaving that up to Brian, 4-Wheel Underground Brian, to take care of that because he has connections with Diamond Brian.
Yeah. So doing it that way, because you're going to get the axle ordered pre-cut.
Yes.
So that's a much easier way to find your axle shaft length than trying to have axle shafts already and cut your axle housing to match your shafts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Diamond Brian already knows the exact length of what the shaft is going to need to be. Yeah. So once it should all wash out on the end.
It should be a much simpler task than what I did.
Yeah. But I'm still doing normal mini truck outers, because the thing is, and we went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out like what I should do. And the thing, I didn't want to spend any more money. I'll just be frank about that. It's like, I didn't want to spend any more money. So, and I already have everything for the mini truck axles. So we're just going to continue down the mini truck axle parts and we're just making a longer axle out of it. So I'm still using the 8-inch third members, which might be silly. I'm having to get longer inner axle shafts, but the stub shafts or the Burfields are going to be the exact same. The knuckles are going to be the exact same what I already have. All the discs and brakes and everything are all going to be what I already have. So there's a lot of carryover on my end, so I don't have to buy all these new parts. Yeah. So it's going to save me a little bit of money.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. I guess this episode is not going to be a radio episode.
Yeah.
Quick and dirty, I went to, and the first weekend of October every year, I do a contest called California QSO Party, a radio contest. And so we went up and did that. However, we typically have in the past few years, we've done it outside of Tehama or in Tehama County.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is
not enough people there, right?
Yes and no. It's definitely a lower population county. And so the goal is to activate every single county in California, all 58 counties, right? When I first started doing California QSO Party CQP, I went up and did an expedition into Alpine County, where we camped out of tents at Monitor Pass in Alpine County. And so that was really fun getting to do it completely off grid, at the top of Monitor Pass, which is 8,000 feet, 7,500, something like that.
What'd you do for power?
Generator.
Generators? You carried a generator out there, or were you did you 4-wheel out to that location?
We drove out there.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we had the vehicles to carry the big generator. So I did that for 2 years. And then after that, my father-in-law decided that he wanted to go and try and set records in Tehama County.
Okay.
And so we went and did that for 3 years. And then now he wants to go back to Alpine County and set records at Alpine.
Okay.
So
and then he's just going to try to set the record in every county.
Essentially, yeah. He likes setting records and radio stuff. So
I like records too.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. So I went back to Alpine County this year.
Yeah.
And we were 10 miles from the California-Nevada border on the California side in Carson Valley.
Okay.
So right there as you come off of 89 from South Lake down into Nevada. So we were technically in Paynesville, which is about halfway between Markleyville and Gardnerville.
Okay.
So we're right there pretty much on the border. Absolutely stunning house, beautiful house that we got through the Airbnb that overlooked the valley. So we were kind of up on the western side of the valley on the Sierra side, looking east over the entire valley and the foothills on the other side of the valley, right?
So looking into Nevada?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. And so that was beautiful, gorgeous area there. Because of the sun activity, the solar activity we're having right now, radio waves, especially shorter radio waves, are working and going longer distances right now than they typically do.
Oh, interesting.
And the longer radio waves are not working as well or until you get into later in the night. So you need less solar activity to get the longer radio waves to work better.
Got it. Okay.
And so more solar activity, the shorter radio waves work better. And so
you guys were up all night.
No, we were up a lot during the day. And then somebody stayed up all night, kind of on shifts kind of thing.
Got it.
But I think we did have a downtime of like 3 hours that night where nobody was operating. But what was really cool while I was operating, I was able to get from essentially Alpine County right there on the California-Nevada border, just below South Lake Tahoe, to Slovenia.
What?
Yeah. That was my furthest contact.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
where the hell is Slovenia?
I want to say it's Eastern European, one of the Eastern European countries.
Yeah. It's got to be like above Greece.
Yeah.
In that general area.
Yep. And
Albania, Slovenia, Romania.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So typically when I've reached kind of the Eastern European countries in the past on phone voice, like we did a ton of European countries on Morse code.
Okay.
Which is definitely very doable. Morse code is a much smaller bandwidth that has more punch, so it'll go further, right?
Sure.
With a phone, like if you can get outside of the United States on 10 meter, you're doing pretty good. And so 10 meter, if you get usually 20 meter, 15 and 20 meter can get into Europe fairly easily if you're running 1,000 watts of power.
Yeah.
But 10 meter typically doesn't go that far. And it definitely never has in my lifetime that I've been playing with radios, because the sunspot cycle on the sun, our sun, is about every 11 years.
Okay.
So you only get high radio activity every 11 years.
Sure.
And then it goes on this cycle of it takes 11 years to get back to high activity. So we're in this high activity zone right now for about 2 to 3 years where radio signals are doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then it dips back down in 5 or 6 years. It'll dip back down to no activity.
Boring.
Yeah. Boring radio cycles.
Normal radio things.
Yeah. Where you have to try a lot harder to get radio waves to get around the planet kind of thing. But right now it's really exciting and the radio waves are doing some cool stuff. So Slovenia is where I got to this weekend. Where is Slovenia?
You're Googling it.
Country in Europe. So it's right around Croatia.
Yeah. Okay.
Austria, right between Croatia and Austria.
Oh, it's above Croatia.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So right next to Hungary and Italy. So it's in between Italy, Austria, Hungary, and Croatia.
Got it.
So right there on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mediterranean Sea there.
That's the Baltic Sea.
Is that the Baltic? The Adriatic.
Oh, Adriatic. Dang.
Yep. So right on the Adriatic Sea on the northeast corner of the Adriatic. So yeah, I got from California to the Adriatic Sea, the northeast.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Adriatic.
impressive.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was kind of the highlight of the weekend for me. Was making that contact, because I was like, you don't make that contact on 10 meters. That just doesn't happen on phone, on voice comms, right?
So when you say phone, it's over voice.
It's voice, it's audio, phone, voice comms versus Morse code or CW. So that was fun. We did that for the weekend. I'm pretty sure we set the record in Alpine County this weekend. We got really close to it. And it's
what record? Like what? So how do you set a record?
Radio contests are scored based on how many contacts you make.
Okay.
Times how many multipliers you get. And multipliers are typically based on your different locations that you have to get. In this case, for this particular contest, everybody in California is trying to contact all 50 states plus 8 Canadian territories.
Okay.
And then everybody in the Canadian territories and the states are trying to contact all 58 of the California counties.
Got it.
And so that's how you get your multipliers. There's 58 multipliers available.
Okay.
So we got 56 multipliers. We didn't get Wyoming or South Dakota.
Dang it.
Yeah.
But you got all of Canada.
We got all the Canadian provinces. Yep.
Dang, there's that many nerds?
Apparently, yeah.
I did see somebody driving down the road the other day. It was in front of me. I forgot. It was driving like a Nissan Pathfinder or something. He had 2 antennas on his car, and then he had a KH9 blah blah
call
blah
sign, license plate
thing, call sign on there. And I wasn't in Bobcat, but I probably would have tried to queue him up. Be like, hey, KH9 blah blah blah. Good to see you. How you been?
Frequencies on what channel? During this contest, there's also people that are rovers. So their goal is to go and see how many counties they can activate during the contest.
What do you mean by that?
So they go from
they move. They physically move.
They physically move.
So they go from like Alpine to Placer to Nevada to those are all different counties in California.
Yep.
But so they try to move and be in every county and make a contact in every county.
So there's a category for rover. Yeah. And the rover there, in order to win the rover category, you have to get one contact in as many counties as you can during the contest.
Wow.
So
it sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of driving around. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not worth it to me. You drive around, get to a county, and then make one contact from that county. But here's a trick. You can be within, I think it's 50 feet of a county border, and you can log both of those counties with one contact.
Oh.
So there's a couple counties where you can log all 3 counties with one contact. So if you can plan it out strategically for your driving map, you can get 9 or 10 counties during this contest.
How long? It's one day or all weekend?
It's a 36 hour. We started at 9 a.m. Saturday and it ended at 3 p.m. Sunday. So 24 plus 6. So 30-hour contest. So
I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure there's a law states that you can be in like your camper, for example.
Like a Lance. Okay.
Like a Lance. So somebody could be driving and somebody can be in the Lance as long as you have radio communication.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So we could do a rover one where there's just one dude driving.
Yep.
And then you have somebody in the camper just playing radios the whole time.
Yeah. People literally set up Sprinter vans or other vans as rover vehicles for contests so that they have a team of like 2 or 3 guys in the van, the cargo space, and one person driving, and then they just rotate.
That's nuts.
That way they never stop moving.
One person sleeps, one person's on radio, one person's driving.
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like it's just funny the hobbies and competitiveness that people get into when whatever hobby they're trying to get into.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah.
I'm only thinking about the rover one. It could be kind of interesting. Because you would do a lot of driving and you would do little radio, right? You would just get to a spot and then you just queue it up. And like, okay, here's my log. I got it. Drive on to the next county.
Yep.
So there's a lot of driving. So, I mean, you wouldn't really need more like 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, you just 2 so one of you can fall asleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and if you do it this way, you're always driving. Like if you do it in a van or a camper with a team of people, you're always driving. You never stop.
Right.
So yeah, what's interesting with doing it that way is you have to have an HF antenna set up on your vehicle, which HF antennas are notoriously big antennas.
Okay.
Because they operate much longer wavelengths than like what we're used to dealing with repeaters.
Right.
So,
but it doesn't. And then do they get bonuses for states and provinces?
Yep. So they get the same amount of scoring, right? But I think that they get a different multiplier for how many counties they work themselves, right? Or how many counties they operate out of.
Sure.
Yeah.
So next year you guys need to go from Alpine to Placer, and then that'll just give you another multiplier.
Yeah, but then we'd lose points on being able to stand. Like we made 1,800, 1,900 contacts throughout the weekend. And so there's different strategies, right? If multipliers are going to be scarce, depending on the contest and what the multipliers are, then you try and get like multipliers are super valuable and you can really go after the multipliers if you have the station set up to be able to target the multipliers.
Sure.
If you don't have a station set up, say you have a little 100-watt radio at your apartment and you have this tiny little wire dipole antenna up on the roof that you're hiding from the HOA or in your attic space.
Right.
You don't have the station to be able to go after multipliers. So your goal is to go after just as many contacts as you can. Right. And then there's bigger setups. Like if you do a multi-person, multi-transmitter, which is called a multi class, you can go after multipliers and numbers.
Right.
And that requires typically a big station with a team of people working 24/7.
Like you guys.
But we do multi-single. So we do multi-person, one transmitter.
Okay.
So typically what we're trying to do is set up a big antenna from a really good location on a lot of power. That way we just have a booming signal going out and we just hope that anybody hears us and comes to us.
Got it.
So we create a big, what are those fly lights where the flies are attracted to them, then they get zapped. That's what we do. We create a big ass light beacon and people hopefully come to us.
So you just sit there and you say, hey, this is K6TLR transmitting on whatever.
Yep. Who wants to talk to me?
Who wants to talk to me? And then somebody goes, hi, this is KJ1MMY. I read you from Placer County.
Yep. And that's it. You log them and you move on.
And then you go, thanks. Bye.
Yep. Next.
There's a code, right, for saying like, I got you.
QSL.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then you just go, hey, this is K6TLR on this frequency.
Yep. Who's out there in this contest? Yeah. Anybody could talk to me. So, and then somebody talks to you. And a lot of times it's really fun when you get pileups.
Sure.
So you get more than 2 or 3 people trying to call you at one time. So you have 3 to 20 people all saying their call sign at the same time. And you have to try and pick something out of there to start narrowing it down to who you're going to talk to.
Sure. Yeah. Cause you'll be like, hey, the guy that had the call sign ending in,
radio or Y or whatever
radio
it is.
Or something, then repeat. And then they'd go off.
Yeah, and sometimes you get 2 or 3 people that have a call sign ending in Y. And so then you've narrowed down from 20 people calling to 2 to 3 people calling. And then you can narrow it down to 1 person from there.
Jeez.
So
I think my goal next year will be to try and contact you.
That'd be fun. I could totally set you up with an antenna to be able to do that.
I can't do it out of Bobcat.
I mean, we typically don't go on UHF and VHF. Okay. We're all on HF stuff. But I mean, we could set up a VHF or UHF one and contact you.
Yeah.
And get a band
it'd
of there.
Just be funny to be like, hey, K6TLR, this is KJ1MMY.
Yeah. Yay.
Hi, Jimmy. Bye.
Yeah. Gretchen log. Bye, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Next.
QSL. Peace.
Yep.
So you got to move on.
Yeah. So that's what we did this weekend. I think we set the record. It'll be close. they have to go through the logs and make sure that people aren't putting in fake things. So everybody has to log the contact, right? So then everybody,
both sides too, right?
Both. So everybody submits their logs at the end of the contest, and then the contest runners, the people hosting the contest, have to go through and match up everybody's logs to make sure that people aren't just putting in fake contacts.
So that person in Slovenia, I sure hope will submit their log.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. So that's the fun part. So you submit your log and you can check what your score is when you submit it, but then the hosts go through and match everything, confirm everything, and they will usually deduct points out of people's logs that don't make sense. So there's always a corrected score.
Sure.
So it really depends on the corrected score if we're going to beat the record or not. You don't find that out for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Wild. And so what record were you beating? And I mean did somebody else have that record, or were you beating just, I guess that's the only way to really do it.
Yeah, somebody else had the record. And so
for multi-person single tower.
Exactly. Yep. Multi-single. So they had the record. And it definitely looked attainable from what we had been doing in the past in Tehama County. If we can replicate that in Alpine County, it 100% looked attainable, like we could beat the record. So the record score was 259,000 points. And I think we ended up with our submitted score of 265,000 points. So we'll see. It's typically you want about a 5%, 5 to 10% overage in order to confirm on the corrected score.
Okay.
And we're right kind of at that like we're below the 5% threshold on it. So we'll see
if it holds.
If it holds. Yeah.
Got it. And so that person in Slovenia doesn't give you a multiplier.
No, they don't. Unfortunately, the way this contest is set up, because it's all about the counties, right? So you have to have a 58 multipliers only.
Yeah.
So anybody that's outside of those 58 multipliers just counts as another contact. So he's only worth 1 point, unfortunately. Yeah. But there's other contests that are set up to be like, how many you get multipliers for every country outside of the United States.
Sure.
And so in that contest, he could have been worth 2,000 points.
Right.
So
yeah, that'd be interesting too, especially right now with the solar flares going on.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were running a 10 meter, 1,000 watts of power.
We were running about 500 watts.
500 watts.
We went back and forth because in the past for Tehama, we had brought a 1,500 watt amplifier, which is the legal limit of what you can run on ham radio. But you have to manually tune it every time. We have another amplifier that's only 500 watts, but it auto tunes.
Okay.
So when you switch the band, you don't have to spend time tuning the amplifier. So we weren't sure if that would make up for the loss in power or what. And we think it did, because we were still, with how active the solar cycle is right now, the sun activity, we were still getting reports on CW all over Europe.
Wow.
And this contest favors Morse code. So you wanted more Morse code time than voice time, which worked out really well, because at 500 watts, we were blanketing Europe.
Cool.
So yeah, with Morse code. Yeah.
What about the other direction? What about like Japan or something?
We didn't get too much Japan and Australia because we were up on that hillside.
Okay.
Right. So we were sending 500 watts of power directly into the granite of the Sierras. So we only got a couple, Japan and Australia. So yeah, we wanted to focus on Eastern because that's the United States and Europe. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. It's always a tiring weekend. I know
it's a long weekend. And so it's getting to the point where we had the guys out there running the contest, and then the mother-in-law and the secretary and Reed also came out.
Oh,
so they got to have a semi-relaxing weekend at this beautiful house in the Carson Valley. Right. Which means I wanted to spend more time hanging out with the kid.
Yeah.
than I did necessarily contesting. And everybody that was there can also do voice comms. So I got very little operating time compared to what I've done in the past.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the secretary can't do voice.
She doesn't have a call sign. Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Let it lapse.
Yep.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yep. No license.
How about the mother-in-law?
She has no license. Yeah.
Okay.
She never got her license.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my weekend. Fun weekend. I enjoyed setting up everything too. Like that's one of the things that I get a thrill out of is how do you set up a multi-country wide radio station on the fly on somebody else's property or like just out somewhere, wherever you are.
Yeah. How do we anchor it to their house without them figuring it out?
Yeah. Yeah. How do we operate and send 500 to 1,000 watts through the air without frying their electronics in the house?
Right.
So, yeah.
Wild.
Yep.
Well, that sounds fun. Sounds like you guys maybe got your name in another record book.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll find out in like 6 months.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was nice. It was a relaxing weekend. Out of our normal house, right?
Sure.
So, and it was another opportunity to take Reed into an unknown situation and see how he does, see how we handle it, and start figuring out more of how to handle a baby and infant while you're traveling.
Got it.
So, it worked out really well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
So that was my weekend. It's good times. And hopefully I get to go to Barrett Lake this weekend.
Yay. That would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has any questions for us or you want to make a comment, then you can hit us up. SnailTrail4x4 is what I look at on Instagram. Tyler's at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. You can email us, Jimmy or Tyler, at snailtrail4x4.com. Or you can phone in with radio questions and you can leave that on our snail mail episodes with 916-345-4744.
I like it a lot. Jimmy Jet. Any final words for everybody out there?
Yeah, I got a phone call through Snail Armor the other day.
Oh.
And I answered it, snail mail.
Good job. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay.
What do you call a train carrying bubblegum?
I don't know. What?
A choo-choo train.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.